Okay, these are critical thinking questions for Chapter 1 in the Race, Ethnics, and Diversity class. It's how diverse is your city? I think the city of La Crosse is very diverse. I think we have lots of ethnic groups living here. I see them every day. I live right next door to a family of Hmong. And I think that there are certain groups that are being subordinated. I think that the gay and lesbian community, the race, different religions are being subordinated. Women, different races and ethnic groups are being subordinated. And what social construction of categories do you see that may be different in your community compared to elsewhere? I think that there's construction of categories. I think there's certain parts of our city where people live compared to who they are, where they were brought up, what race they are, an ethnic group. I see certain groups segregate themselves from other people just because they're of different color or a different ethnic group. You tend to see like the south side and north side divided. And the next critical thinking question 2, is in 2006. Our national anthem hit the airwaves in the Spanish language version. And how do I think that represents a positive or a step backwards? I think that represents a positive thing. I think that it being in Spanish just shows our diversity in this country. We have a lot of Spanish-speaking people here, and I don't see why we shouldn't have it in other languages. It doesn't make it any less of what it is. It just shows that we're a melting pot of different ethnic groups, and that if they want to support our anthem, then they can too, because they'll know what it is in their own language. And I think we should support that and maybe put it in other languages too. And how does that relate to the intergroup spectrum relation pictured in the book? I think it just shows that we're segregated depending on who we are in different communities. We tend not to meld together like we should. And identify some protest and resistance efforts supported by subordinate groups in your area. I know the gay and lesbian community, they have, marches and stuff. I just learned that they do those kind of things. I forget what it's called, but other than that, I can't really think of any other subordinate groups that have done any kind of efforts, any kind of protests or anything like that in this area. And I would have to say they are successful in getting out their message. Why are some people who say they favor equality uncomfortable with such efforts? I think they just don't want to be singled out in that way. Maybe they're just scared to say what they feel, even though they want equality. They're just uncomfortable to help people. And I think education is the key. That you need to educate people, that they speak out and they stick up for what they believe in, and then they're doing something good, and it's not a bad thing. And then maybe more people will come out and do the same thing.